Good Monday morning, everyone. Today is November 18th, 2019, and here is today's very brief Monday Morning Minute. So for today, we'll simply recap last week's readings and responses, and then we'll turn our attention to this week, where we have a video reflection assignment due, and I'd also like you to take a look at our final project assignment description. So last week, we turned our attention to problem solving as a potential method of classroom management, especially when those quick corrections and other strategies that we've already discussed may not be enough. So I wanted to bring your attention to something that Cassie wrote, and she was referencing Glasser's 7-step model, one that Jones and Jones applaud and are in favor of. And she was speaking specifically about step 3, which is helping students to arrive at a value judgment about their actions. And Cassie wrote, when students identify what was disruptive or incorrect, they now can learn from their mistakes. I especially like the question, is it helping others? Because it makes students focus on more than just themselves, holding themselves more accountable for their peers' learning as well. And I bring up this comment because this was actually kind of a mini theme among many of our responses this past week. This idea of cultivating self-awareness, intrapersonal awareness among our students to help them to realize that their actions don't just immediately affect themselves, they also have an impact on the wider community. I'm in total favor of asking this question and sort of engendering this way of thinking, this interpersonal awareness in our students, starting at a very early age. There were questions on one of the discussion posts this week about whether we could do something like this with kindergartners. And I would say absolutely. And in fact, I think that would help us when students get to high school to, again, just be a little bit more aware of their role within a larger community, within a larger classroom, within a larger school, etc. So thank you so much, Cassie, and to everyone for sharing your thoughts about this really important and potentially really useful tool. All right, so for this week, I'd like you all to take a look at the classroom management plan assignment description. So your final project is this classroom management plan. And I've updated it a bit. So if you've already taken a look at it before today, let's say, take another look, just because the initial description I felt was a bit too vague, and I've gone in and I've kind of revamped things to hopefully make the assignment more clear. I'll show you a little preview of the link that's available to you on Blackboard. It is right here. So I'm asking you to put together an entire classroom management plan, and I have a note towards the bottom, right at the very bottom, in fact, that not all of us have actual physical classrooms or intend to have actual physical classrooms. So if you're someone who works with schools more tangentially or at a building-wide level or district/corporation-wide level, we can certainly tailor this particular project so that it's useful to you in your context. And if you have questions about how to make that happen, just let me know. But in broad strokes, what I'm asking you to do is to include an introduction that defines what classroom management means to you, which is something that we'll talk about for an assignment later this week. And then tell me a little bit about how your approach to classroom management is in line with what we have read in our chapters in both of our textbooks, and also how it's in line with the additional components of the plan that you'll lay out. So I want you to think about these things when we're thinking about a classroom management plan. First of all, think about what you're going to do before students arrive to ensure that it's a positive school year or school semester. Then think about how when students are there, you'll build and maintain a positive classroom climate. So I have some questions here for you to think through and respond to. Consider how you're going to engage parents, families, other stakeholders continuously throughout the school year or the term. And then think about your plan for managing misbehavior / resetting your classroom culture if needed. And again, each of these have a few bulleted points that I'd like you to take a look at that are meant to help you think through the larger question. And of course, if those are at all confusing, please do let me know. I'm envisioning this as either a Word document / PDF file, or if you want, you can put together a PowerPoint or a Prezi presentation. You can include audio to tell me a little bit more about what you're thinking. That's always appreciated. And that's basically it. We're at this moment now where we've read all about classroom management and the myriad different considerations that go into it. And now it's time to enact it ourselves. So that is a classroom management plan. Again, please take a look at this carefully sometime this week and let me know if you have any questions. And then additionally, coming up this week, by this Sunday, we have our final video reflection assignment. So this is a mirror of what we did at the very, very start of the semester when I asked you all to define classroom management. Please feel free to review that video that you made in August. And at this point, I want you to think about what your definition of classroom management is now. How have your views changed? If they haven't changed per se, is there at least more of a research backing based on our readings that kind of cements your view of classroom management? Maybe for some of us, our view of classroom management is a bit more nuanced than it initially was. It includes different considerations that we hadn't necessarily thought of before. I really just want you to kind of dive in and think about how you would define classroom management today, given all that we've learned, all the assignments that we've had up to this point. Once again, I'd love for you to embed that video. I think the easiest way for us to do that is to save your video to YouTube, make sure that it's public so we can watch it. And then you can either include the link to the YouTube video or you can embed. So the way to do that, let's see if this will work. Oh yeah, okay, so here we go. Remember that to embed, what you'll want to do is you'll copy and paste an embed code that you can get from YouTube when you click share on YouTube. And you'll just want to go to this HTML button here. You'll copy and paste the embed code right in this box. You'll hit update, and then voila, your video will be right there, easily accessible for all of us. So, as a reminder, that video reflection is due this Sunday. And again, please take a look at that classroom management plan if you haven't already, and let me know if you have questions. I hope you all have a wonderful week and a really fabulous Thanksgiving. And I'll see you back here in a few weeks. Bye-bye.